In this objective, again, I do want you to show your work. I want you to solve these trig equations. I would always check them by graphing, but that's not what I want your main focus to be here. The graphing comes in objective 3. All right? So number 4 says, find all values between 0 and 2 pi such that the cosine of theta equals 0.45. Okay? How do I get rid of a cosine? Inverse cosine. For this problem, because of the domain being from 0 to 2 pi, please type that in radian mode. All right? So double check that. Mode, you'll want to be in radians. Inverse cosine of 0.45. Round answers to the nearest thousandths. 1.10ths, hundredths, thousandths. All right, 1.104. Okay. Now that is one of my answers. But for the other answer, again, I want to think about the unit circle and the fact that my cosine is 0.45. That would be how far I go over. 0.45. Okay. And then I could go up from there. That must be the angle that my calculator just gave me, 1.104. Okay. Or I could go down from there. This would be the answer that my calculator doesn't give me that I got to figure out. Okay? And we don't want to call it negative 1.104 because that's not between 0 and 2 pi. So I want to name it this way. Okay? Remember we worked on this. Do I add pi? Do I subtract it from 2 pi? What do I do? Try to figure out what the name of that other angle is. Again, I always think of it as, you know, I don't go quite all the way around because I go back 1.104 or however you want to work that out in your head. But you do subtract it from 2 pi and get 5.179 is the other one. Okay. All right, number 5. Number 5, a little more going on in number 5. What should I do first? That's right. They all said add the square root of 5 to both sides. And then I'd have 2 tangent of theta equals the square root of 5. Then what? Thank you. Divide by 2. And I have the tangent of theta equals the square root of 5 over 2. Okay. And if a decimal version of that is helpful, that's 1.118. I'm just thinking of drawing my circle and thinking of what that would look like. All right. And then take the inverse tangent of both sides. And the inverse tangent, still in radian mode, would be 0.84. Did I give rounding directions? I didn't. 0.841, we'll just stay consistent. 0.84 would be fine, 0.8 would be fine. Okay. Now, this says give the general solution. General solutions are where we have to do the plus 2 pi n or plus pi n or plus 2 or whatever it is. Okay. I want you to think about the tangent equation for a minute, which does this. You know, and then we have 0 shooting across there. Okay. You remember how when we have the sine or cosine, I talk about up wave and down wave solutions? We don't have up and down here. We just have up and then up again and then up again. All right. So we really don't need a 2-part pattern with tangent. We just need a 1-part pattern. So I'm going to take my 0.841. And then my question is, how far are these apart? Okay. I know that, let's call this one 0.841. I know that the period is what tells me how far apart those are. But I could also find another one of those. Let's see if I draw my tangent picture. Tangent is positive in the first quadrant, right? Tangent's positive, and in the third quadrant. So if this was 0.841, we'll say this angle is 0.841. Okay. Somebody with that same tangent would be a half turn away from that, or pi away from that. So the pattern here is pi n, not 2 pi n. And again, that goes back to the fact that the period of the tangent function, I'm going to write that down, the period of the tangent of theta is pi, where the period of the sine and the cosine is 2 pi. Okay. All right, looks like we're going to be able to get one more in. Let's try to get this one in. Okay. First step, subtract 4. Then divide by 5. Then we have the sine of an angle equals -4/5. Again, I like decimals better, so I'm going to say -0.8. And then I inverse sine both sides. And I get -0.927. Okay. Now I'm not going to do anything about the fact that it's negative, because here I do a general solution. So I'm going to be okay with the fact that it's negative. You could turn it into some positive angle, but I'm not going to worry about that here. But I do know that sine has a period of 2 pi, so one of my answers is going to be -0.927 plus 2 pi n. But this is either only up wave or down wave, and I need to find the other one. Okay? So here is my angle, -0.927. We'll say it looks like this. Because my sine was -0.8. Whoops. So this is my -0.8. And then this is my negative angle, -0.927. But over here, I also have a -0.8 sine. -0.8. So now I've got to come up with, what do I name the green angle? Because I need the green angle on there also plus 2 pi n. Okay. So see if you can figure out what do I name the green angle? What do you think I should call the green angle? 4.069 if we're rounding the same, or 4.07. Okay. A couple of different ways to do that, but I thought, okay, here's pi, and then I add that 0.297, so I took pi plus 0.927. That's as far as we're going to be able to get for now. Okay, we had some agenda items.